Title: A turning point in the storm. Emma had always been an optimist. As a young professional in her early 30s, she was proud of the progress she had made. She worked as a project manager for a tech company, earning a comfortable salary that allowed her to live in a nice apartment in the city. Life was good. That is, until the global economic crisis hit. It was the start of 2023, and a chain of events, pandemics, rising inflation, and economic instability began to affect economies around the world. Emma watched the news one evening as markets crashed, companies shut down, and unemployment rates skyrocketed. She thought it was something that would pass quickly, but days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Her company had to implement major cuts to stay afloat, and Emma received an email one Friday afternoon that changed everything. Due to the ongoing economic challenges, we regret to inform you that your position is no longer required. Please contact HR for further details. The words hit her like a ton of bricks. Emma felt a mix of anger, fear, and helplessness. How could this happen? How was she supposed to survive now? For days, Emma found herself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, worrying about her future. She wasn't the only one. Her friends, family, and even people she barely knew were all in the same boat, struggling to navigate a world that felt uncertain and unstable. Her parents, living in a small town, called to check on her. They had been through their own set of challenges during the financial crises of the past, and they knew how tough it could get. "You have to stay strong, Emma," her mother said. "We've been through hard times before, and we always found a way to pull through." But Emma didn't feel strong. She didn't know where to start. The bills were piling up, and the job market was bleak. It seemed like the world was unraveling. However, she knew she had to do something to survive, for her own peace of mind and for her future. The first thing Emma did was take a deep breath and stop running away from the reality of the crisis. She had to face it head on. "I'm unemployed, and the economy is uncertain, but I'm still here," she told herself. Rather than dwelling on the fear of losing everything, Emma started to make a list of what she had: savings, skills, her support system, and the determination to make it through. She knew that the first step in surviving any crisis was to acknowledge it, accepting that she couldn't change the situation overnight, but could control how she reacted. Emma knew she had to reduce her spending. She loved dining out and going on trips, but those luxuries were no longer options. She cancelled subscriptions that were non-essential, including streaming services, gym memberships, and the monthly package for clothes she had been buying online. She also took a hard look at her living situation. Though her apartment was nice, it was expensive for her new reality. She decided to downsize, moving to a more affordable apartment. It wasn't easy. She had to part with many things she had grown attached to, but Emma knew it was a temporary sacrifice. With the economy in free fall, the job market was competitive. Emma applied to numerous job openings, but quickly realized that many positions were either unavailable or oversaturated with applicants. Rather than feeling defeated, she started thinking outside the box. She turned to freelance work. Her background in project management gave her an edge in the gig economy. She joined freelance platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, offering consulting services to businesses looking to streamline their operations. It wasn't her dream job, but it kept food on the table. Emma also explored other avenues, such as online tutoring, where she used her expertise in management and business to teach students looking to improve their skills. Although Emma's income wasn't as steady as it had been, she took small steps to rebuild her savings. Every month, she set aside a small amount of money into an emergency fund. "It doesn't matter how much, as long as I'm putting something aside," she reminded herself. By prioritizing savings, even in difficult times, Emma was slowly rebuilding the safety net that would give her peace of mind in the future. One of the best decisions Emma made during the crisis was reaching out to her network. She had always been focused on her career, but had neglected the importance of building relationships with others. Now, she connected with former colleagues, friends, and mentors who offered advice, job leads, and emotional support. They too had weathered the storm and were willing to help her. Emma also expanded her network online, joining forums and groups of professionals in her field. She didn't just see this as a job search, but as an opportunity to learn from others and share insights. The more people she spoke with, the more ideas she gathered. Some were in similar positions, while others were thriving despite the crisis, and their stories inspired her. As the months went by, Emma found herself facing the ongoing reality of economic hardship. The world hadn't magically fixed itself, and the situation still felt uncertain. But Emma stayed focused. She reminded herself daily of her long-term goals and why she was working so hard. Her dream wasn't to simply survive the crisis, but to emerge from it stronger, more knowledgeable, and more resilient. "I'm not just going to survive this," she told herself. "I'm going to thrive." Months later, things began to improve. Emma's freelance business started to take off, and she received a full-time job offer from a company that valued her skills. It wasn't exactly the role she had envisioned for herself, but it was a step forward. She had learned that adaptability was one of the most important skills in the modern world. The economic crisis was far from over, and the world was still adjusting. But Emma had learned how to weather the storm. By cutting unnecessary expenses, finding alternative income streams, building a network, and keeping a positive outlook, she had survived. The crisis had tested her, but it also taught her valuable lessons that would stay with her for life. In times of economic crisis, it's essential to stay calm, take small steps, and remain adaptable. Cut unnecessary expenses, explore new income opportunities, and rely on your network. Most importantly, stay focused on the long-term goal, not just to survive, but to emerge stronger. If you found Emma's journey inspiring and want more stories on how to navigate tough times, subscribe and follow for more practical advice and real-life lessons.